Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 323 Divisional Round edition. I'm your host, Reid Murphy, joined by the usual suspects, the usual crowd here. The Brown contingency, as we've disguised it. We can show up at whatever time we want. Zoo will be the on-time one, though. Hello, Zuhair, Ali. How are you?
If I'm on time, things have gone seriously wrong.
I mean, that's Chipotle and Taco Bell for you. It'll hit. Yeah. Out on the West Coast, we had the Big Chief Burrito himself, Luis Martinez.
Colombians notoriously always on time. So, yes, we're here.
Is that a thing? I've never heard. I didn't know that was.
No.
Okay, yeah.
it's quite the opposite. Colombian people time is a thing.
Hey, it's the same on with the NAACP over here. We have CP time.
We got our own CPT.
Yeah. Yes. Hey, thank you for everybody that's joining, that's watching, listening, wherever it is that you do it, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, 323 Network. You can always see our beautiful faces and that incredible lighting and shading and camera technique that Zoo has going over there, and that he figured out how to work the iPhone in there. Oh, beautiful stuff.
Brought to you by Shot on iPhone. Hashtag Shot on iPhone.
It has been a busy and chaotic week in the NFL post super wild card weekend, which still, again, I don't like the 3 days. I love football as much as the next person. I don't want 3 days of playoff football. Just pack it all into the Saturday and Sunday like I'm used to. I don't want Monday night playoff football. I didn't watch any of that game. I didn't see any of it up until the end when all of the Steelers fans were yelling at Aaron Rodgers and telling him to retire like he wasn't the best quarterback that they've had in 5 years. It was a fun week. It was a bunch of fun games for the most part. And we'll get into the takeaways for what will come next for the losing teams and preview the divisional round. But I want to get into the newsworthy headlines of the week so far in the NFL, and that has been the coaching cycle. The coaching changes have been crazy. We thought that we had seen it all last week with, John Harbaugh being fired from the Ravens, Mike McDaniel being shortly fired after that. Convenient timing, which didn't work out for them.
We're going to miss.
With 8 head coaching openings by the time we did the show last week. We now have 9 because after the Steelers' loss on Monday night against the Houston Texans, Mike Tomlin decided to step down from the team. He was not fired. He just has not retired. He just deemed himself not good enough for the organization. That's what he told in a speech to the team, according to reporters that had a sobbing Aaron Rodgers, apologizing to him, and TJ Watt saying no repeatedly to himself and to other people around him. So that's a big new opening, but I want to turn the floor over to Zuhair Ali, who has compiled a lot of the things to know with the coaching cycle, to what the hot spots are and who the hot names are.
Yeah, full disclosure, I don't actually do any of my own planning. This is all brought to you by ChatGPT, but I filled in the prompt, so I will take the credit for this.
Chat 323.
Skynet enabler.
Yeah, so one of the vacancies that was filled in was that the Ravens moved on from John Harbaugh, and this asshole decided to come to the NFC East. That is right. He is now the head coach for the New York Giants. 100 milli over 5 years.
Crazy.
Have fun paying for the rest of the free agents that are coming in, but they have a really stacked team. Like, it's crazy how their defense isn't able to perform. They have a first-round pick quarterback that they could at least see what they have in for 2 to 3 years. They have a solid wide receiver 1 in Neighbors. They have an interesting running back that we'll see how long he can last, but the main pieces that they need right now are O-line. So if their biggest issue has been stability and culture over the last few years since their last Super Bowl appearance, then this might be the guy to fix that. Or it can go terribly wrong, and that'll be really funny for us to watch. But a lot of people are leaning towards the upside of that, so we will fear as if it is the upside. But the current vacancies now are for the Steelers, Dolphins, Ravens, Cardinals, Raiders, Browns, Titans, and Falcons. There's a lot of hot names that are candidates for those, and ChatGPT had an interesting pairing for each one. So, for the Steelers, they anticipate Mike McDaniel for the offensive mind and leadership growth narrative. Steelers want modern offense without chaos. This pairing feels inevitable, and it gave it 4 fire emojis. Any thoughts on that?
ChatGPT don't know ball, so anything that I'm opting out of this discourse because I do not want my likeness or takes being used for ChatGPT learning. But ChatGPT don't know ball in this case.
Okay, I'll just run through the list of. Reid, do you have anything?
I would just throw in there. I feel like Mike McDaniel might be too old now for the Steelers. The Steelers, from what we've seen, it's not a huge sample size, right? They've only hired 3 coaches in their existence, but the last 2 hires were Bill Cowher at 30, Mike Tomlin at 30, defensive-minded coaches, which is something that I didn't even put into the thought process of it. So maybe they'll be looking more that route. Maybe they could try to do things differently for once and go for a McDaniel, but I don't know if I see him as a fit for Pittsburgh.
I don't. I think he's too flashy for Pittsburgh. I see him taking a step back and doing like a year as a O coordinator somewhere, and then coming back into the market next year, unless he gets bowled away by like Cleveland or something like that.
I mean, he's not going to get away with wearing an all Gucci suit in Pittsburgh. That's just not going to fly with the Yinzers.
So do we want to keep going with these pairings, or should we just talk about the candidates in general?
I want to hear more of what ChatGPT has to say. Let's see if Chat knows ball. Okay. I want to see if it knows ball.
All right, the next one, which kind of made me laugh a little bit. Actually, the next 2 made me laugh quite a bit. Arthur Smith to the Titans.
Honestly, that one sounds bad for them, and I'm not an Arthur Smith fan, but it sounds like it might be on. It sounds like it might be on par. He used to coach with them. He used to be their offensive coordinator before he got the Falcons head coaching job, and I think what we're seeing with the Titans, it's not too off the pattern that they're building with their interviews here, which is they are looking for some type of former head coach and maybe an offensive-minded former head coach. They've been doing a lot of interviews with Matt Nagy. They have interviews lined up with Mike McCarthy. So I could see them going for some type of retread like an Arthur Smith.
I think I have a little more faith in what McCarthy could put together over Arthur Smith. Like, I just haven't seen enough good things out of his offenses to really justify wanting him to be a play caller. But maybe they actually want him for the culture side of things. I don't know.
I actually like a Mike McCarthy for a team like Tennessee or Arizona. I like a Mike McCarthy to just lead them back into some type of relevance.
Yeah, things that have like offensive pieces that just need to be kickstarted a little bit.
Yeah, you're not gonna get a Super Bowl immediately with them, but just get them on the right track.
Make them relevant. All right,
Arthur
the next
Smith
one
is not getting the head coaching job. Sorry.
Next one, I love the candidate, but the pairing is really interesting. I don't see how this can go well, and it's Robert Saleh to the Browns.
You know what's weird? You know what's weird about this? And I'll throw in these weird insights. My Madden franchise, me and Scott do like high, like realistic simulations, and I set up everything. I set up all the coordinators kind of the same way and all these job openings, and every time, no matter what I change, it's the 49ers defensive coordinator keeps getting hired by the Browns. And he coincidentally he looks like Robert Saleh. It's weird. So I don't know. Maybe something's in the technological air.
Maybe. The next one is Todd Monken to the Falcons.
He's the Ravens offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I think there's speculation going on right now that Harbaugh would actually bring him with him to the Giants. So,
yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, I was kind of assuming he'll just go be the coordinator with the Giants. But at the same point, I don't know anything because I thought Brian Flores was a done deal to stay in Minnesota, and now he's interviewing in Washington for their defensive coordinator job. So,
yeah. I really think the Falcons need somebody like Kingsbury or McDaniels because they just have all those weapons on offense that just don't get utilized and an already functional defense with Ulbrich still under contract if they wanted to retain him. So,
And it seems like the owner, Arthur Blank, really wants to keep Ulbrich as the DC
yeah.
there and push it for whoever comes in. I like what the Falcons are doing. Like, they can put him as like a lower mid-tier job, but I like what Arthur Blank is trying to do, trying to freshen shit up there. And bringing
Yeah.
Matt Ryan in to be the president of football. Hell yeah.
This is probably the first one that I do like, and it's Clint Kubiak to the Dolphins.
I could see it. I just feel
Get a passable defense and then get that dynamic offense that from like, what was it 3 years ago where they were damn near scoring like 50, 60 points a game.
Yeah. I just feel like, is there a team? Are the Dolphins in a good position to succeed for a head coach? Because
No.
you have a quarterback who's been benched to third string, but he's making millions and millions to the point you can't get rid of him, and his head is mush. So you don't know if he'll ever be like, truly startable or a franchise guy anymore. Your only option is really like Quinn Ewers. There's nothing in the draft that you can do.
Forget about Zach Wilson.
I may we never forget about the MILF Hunter. But
Tyreek Hill's reason for choosing Miami over the Jets is because Zach Wilson was there.
And I might wind up over there anyway.
Yeah.
I'd be weary if I was a head coach, especially a top candidate like Kubiak, to go over there. He seems like he's like the top guy left under, like a Harbaugh or Tomlin. So yeah, I'd be curious if he goes there.
The top coordinator.
Yeah. Name I keep hearing for the Dolphins, too, is Chris Shula, which would be interesting if it's just a family thing, being the grandson of the great Don Shula. But he is a good defensive coordinator for the Rams.
Troy Aikman is involved in this, so you got to sort of lean towards that. Don't rule out Barry Switzer coming out of mothballs.
Troy Aikman's brain probably is about 2% better than Tua's.
Troy Aikman might fuck around and find that he's the best candidate for general manager. I looked at all these candidates and I'm thinking me.
That is a classic story with the Dolphins from about 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago to the date. They hired a sports agency CEO to help them find their next GM and their next president, and he did a global search and found that the best candidate was himself. Yeah. And then turned down different coaching opportunities. Mike Tomlin was one that was apparently a front runner for that job. And the reported quote is that Tomlin was too hip hop for the Dolphins. So they passed on that.
Okay. The last two I got, which I really don't have any thoughts on, and I'll just run through all the candidates. Anthony Weaver to the Cardinals.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Cardinals.
And that's 2 fire emojis, and the 1 fire emoji is Jesse Minter to the Raiders.
Yeah, it's 2 jobs there, the Cardinals and the Raiders. That honestly, the Raiders, you might have a chance. There might be a chance for a good turnaround with that team, simply because Fernando Mendoza looks legit. He looks badass during these college playoffs, and he could be a good franchise quarterback for the Raiders at number 1. And, you got pieces on there like Ashton Genty, Brock Bowers. You're probably going to trade Max Crosby, but you can get more picks for that and maybe build a team up and around. The Cardinals are just like the face of irrelevance. Like nobody gives a shit about them. They're just on at 4:00, just taking up airspace sometimes. They're just there to, have game. They're there so that the Rams and Seahawks and Niners have a couple extra games. That's all all they're there for.
All right, let's put Chat GPT up against Lou PT, Burrito PT. I'm going to say the Cardinals. Tell me who gets it closer, all right? I'm going to say the Cardinals are going to pull somebody out of mothballs. I think the Cardinals are going off the board, not hot coordinator. I think they need stability. They're going to be the team that goes out and calls like Mike McCarthy or gets Gruden out of the fucking off the couch and comes in, all right? So that's my prediction for the Cardinals.
Which Gruden?
Andy Gruden.
Josh Gruden.
Josh Gruden.
Remember,
Or Josh Groban.
remember Deuce's? Remember Jay's hulked out son Deuce, who was the training coordinator for the Commanders until they caught him with just a shit ton of steroids, so they had to get him away from the team.
Yeah.
So when they fired him, they dropped the Deuce.
I think the Raiders are going to take Stefanski. I think Brady's involved. I think the dual coach of the year thing sways them. I'm thinking the Raiders will take Stefanski. I think McCarthy lands as a coordinator unless he gets bowled away by Cleveland. And then I think Harbaugh goes to the Giants, guys. That's just an opinion.
That one could happen.
Tomlin to the Jets next year if he takes a year off.
Hey, you back off. He's ours if things go south again for another season. Tomlin's ours.
He can be our DC.
Does Belichick get a call this season? There's 9 openers. Does fucking Belichick get a call?
From a high school, maybe. From his girlfriend's high school, maybe.
That would be problematic. And you got a documentary coming out. That'll be a whole thing on Netflix.
How's your coach doing? You guys happy with your coach? How's fucking Scott? Where's Poopy McPooperson and his fucking coach that somehow got a pass?
Yeah, it is curious. He's not here, but he is the one I would have asked. I think Zoo and I are happy. We're fine with Quinn for, I'm down to give him more, more. This team wasn't ready. It wasn't exactly what it was last year. They need a chance. He's built a good culture. So, I'm patient with him. Scott's team.
I'm just very curious to see because we're taking such a huge risk on the offensive side of things that I'm just very, very, very curious to see what happens on the defensive side.
You get a chance to get Flores, you fucking do it, man.
If we can get Flores, that will significantly, bolster our defense and our chances.
We might have a little parade.
I'm optimistically curious about David Blau as the offensive coordinator, and just to see what he brings. They're saying that he would probably lean more towards a Kevin O'Connell, Ben Johnson type of offense from those guys that he learned under instead of more of Kingsbury's type of offense. Mm-hmm. I don't like the quarterback coach's hire that I saw today, which is DJ Williams, who is Doug Williams' son. And he was the quarterback's coach in Atlanta last year, and Michael Penix famously went on the record during the season of he was not comfortable talking to any of the coaches about improving some of his, working on some of his movements and skills and everything, and getting coached up. He wasn't comfortable with the offensive coaching staff, including their quarterback's coach. So don't know if I'm down with that one, but maybe Daddy will be on his ass. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, he has a good relationship with Daddy, so maybe he was just hoping that carries on since he has a say in these things, but we'll see.
I'm all in on black people and brown people nepotism, so I'm all for it.
Yeah, that's true. And but yeah, Scott's team, Tampa, after Tomlin, leaving. That's the point. Bucs fans have to be like wondering. It was like, why can't we just, if everybody else is doing it? It's kind of a weak year for head coaching candidates, but like if Tampa let go of Todd Bowles, they would, I think, immediately rise up to one of those top spots. Like if we had to rank the remaining ones, I think the Giants would have been. We did this last week. I think the Giants would have been like one of the top teams to go to, and Harbaugh went for that. Ravens are up there because you have a Lamar Jackson.
Vegas with the number one pick. But I think Tampa is like right in there on that number 3 range if that was to be an open spot. But instead, now we're gonna run it back with Todd Bowles because he slings F-bombs now. He's hardcore.
I was losing it with Coach Zach Taylor to the Homelander meme, where it was like when you have 6 wins, but you're the only coach that didn't lose his job in the division.
I also saw that somebody said the best coach in the NFC South is the one on the team that came in 4th place with the Saints and Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
No, that works out. Nice a nice little consideration for us NFC East fans with John Harbaugh going to the Giants. I saw the stat: no NFL head coach has ever won a Super Bowl with two teams, being a head coach for two different teams. Of all the different, pairings that you can think of, no Andy Reid, no Bill Parcells, none of them have won, a Super Bowl with two different teams as a head coach. So don't get your hopes up, Giants fans, or maybe odds are kind of going that way now because somebody has to do it eventually one day.
Is
I mean, it would
everything-
still be really annoying if they're like constant division winners and constant like NFC championship contenders and they just never made it. Because then it's like, stop hugging the spot.
The way I see it, the Tomlin-Harbaugh rivalry has to continue at some point. I like seeing those guys go against each other twice a year. So now we do have to consider, where does Tomlin land next year? Because
Cowboys next year?
it could be. I swear to God, if it's
don't make me
Dallas,
hate
oh
him.
my God, Dallas or
Don't make me
Philly.
hate
If they get tired of Sirianni's shit finally. Oh, the Eagles losing was so nice. So let's go into this. Let's go into last week's games here, because now I'm just so excited to talk about Philly losing and all that drama that was happening on the sidelines. The wild card round went not a super predictable route unless you're Zuhair Ali.
I know why Zoo was early because he was ready.
I totally forgot I wanted to say 6 for 6, bitches.
He went 6-0 in his picks last week. The LA Rams, they won their game last week. They beat the Carolina Panthers, which was a fun game, a fun atmosphere in Carolina there. The Rams beat the Panthers. The Chicago Bears beat the Green Bay Packers. The Buffalo Bills beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. The San Francisco 49ers beat the Eagles. New England Patriots beat the LA Chargers. And the Houston Texans beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Would like to ask you boys, I'll start, we'll start the usual way. Zoo, what was the best and worst from last weekend for you?
I think each day kind of got worse in qualities of games. Like they got more and more boring as the days went on. The Panthers-Rams game was a lot of fun because that was the most back and forth. The comeback from the Bears was just absolutely insane. So Saturday's slot was just peak playoff football. It was so much fun to watch. It was so exciting. Like there was never a dull moment. After that, let's see, the Bills and Jags. It was fine. I didn't catch the second half of it, but I guess it was entertaining. Like you still get to see Josh Allen magic. Niners taking out the Eagles. It was a pretty boring game because it took forever for someone to score a touchdown, but their loss was more entertaining than the game itself. Chargers Pats, nothing really exciting going on there. Big battle of the defense, kind of speaks to the Patriots going forward and what their matchup is going to be like. And then I called it to the T on the Steelers game that the defensive line is just going to send Rodgers straight into retirement. That's exactly what happened. So yeah, quality of like from an entertainment standpoint, Saturday was peak and it just kind of got a little lamer as you went on. But yeah, it was a solid first weekend of playoff football.
Yes, it was. Luis?
Eagles losing, least impressive Super Bowl second year team that I've had in a very long time. Just seemed like they were just something wrong with it, not clicking, not imaginative, not willing to change, just very content to just kind of let rest on their laurels and figured they were just going to figure out a way somehow. But one of the most unimaginative Super Bowl defenses and least exciting Super Bowl defenses I've ever seen. The Patriots, assisted by their schedule, by their last place schedule, faced a mediocre team and almost didn't score enough points. I don't see them going up against the best defense left. I think the best defense left is the Texans by far. I think the second best defense left is the Seahawks, and I think the best offense left is the Rams, and probably maybe Rams and Seahawks close, and in the AFC, probably the Bills. So, the Bills Jaguars game slipped by my radar, but I'm glad that my pick is still in the Niners and Bills. The Texans demolished Pittsburgh. And I'm really interested in seeing if May has a chance against that defense after they look sus against the Chargers. The
He
Chargers were the
may or may
weakest.
not.
Is he going to go back to Drake maybe, or Mr. Schedule assisted MVP? The Bears showed us something. Obviously, the Packers or a flawed team. That's another team where I can't believe that they didn't decide to make a change at coach. So the Bears, and right now I'm going to see is Sam Darnold has a little bit of an injury. He's still playing. So even though it's a banged up Niners team, it sets up a lot of really interesting matchups. We have no Mahomes. There's going to be a new Super Bowl champion. One of these teams is Allen going to get the monkey off his back? Is he going to, is it going to be the best quarterback, Allen, the best defense, Texans, or one of the best two offenses? That's kind of the remaining question right now. And then what's going to be the hot coordinator from these teams is going to get a coaching position.
Yeah, it was. I just gotta go with you all on just the fun quality of the weekend. I do agree that it did get worse as it went on, but but I can get down with that Eagles Niners game. Even though I went to sleep on it, waking up to the chaos of it, watching Nick Sirianni charging at AJ Brown for dropping balls is just chef's kiss. Like I don't
Get off the
know.
field.
He's gone in the offseason.
That and Howie Roseman pretty much said is so in their end of season press conference where they're talking to the media, and he's finished the press conference with just a warning to fans, like say, hey, we can still contend for a championship, just so you know, going into the offseason, we can still contend for a championship while acquiring draft picks for the future and still keeping this team as a contender in the future. So I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, you're gonna trade one of your star players. You'll trade AJ Brown because you all hate each other. He hates Jalen Hurts to some capacity. He definitely hates Nick Sirianni to some capacity. Like it's a toxic
Franchise
environment.
tag Jordan Davis just to trade him.
Yeah, that's how all of this stuff will go. Rams Panthers. If that's the fun game that you wanted, right? Where the Panthers are not whatsoever qualified to be in this thing. They're the dumb looking dragon on the three-headed dragon.
Funky.
But they came in there and they fought and almost stole that at the end, but Matt Stafford and the Rams did that thing that makes them look like the team that you think can be a contender. Where they just
Stafford, baby.
You gotta kill them. Bears, Packers, fun to just watch the Packers downfall. I don't know why. I don't really hate the Packers, but it was just kind of fun to see the defeat in there. And Ben Johnson is an asshole. He's the worst when it comes to just screaming "fuck the Packers" in his post game speech, and the goofy handshake he did with Matt LaFleur. But it creates an awesome rivalry. It reignites that rivalry there, and the Caleb Williams is fun as hell to watch. That ice cold dude at the end of the games is so fun. It's not at all sustainable. I don't believe that it's sustainable. I don't believe that they can ride that into that style of play that they've been doing into a Super Bowl championship this year. Like you're gonna get caught by one of these teams. The Rams will be one of those teams that will catch you there at the end.
They're the nobody believes in us team.
Yeah, and case in point, I don't believe in them, and maybe they'll prove me wrong. They'll keep proving me wrong here, but.
It's crazy that his completion percentage is at 58% or something right now too.
Yeah. He's easily the best quarterback they've ever had, which is a funny thing to say already, but he's by far their best quarterback ever. Bills, Jaguars. Only takeaway from that is that ball don't lie. And we got proof of that during that game where the refs tried to give the Jaguars a chance there. The clock was at 0 at the end of the first half. It still gave them a field goal chance, and they missed the field goal. So, ball don't lie. It will never be that way. Also, Josh Allen is just scary, terrifying. Now are you going to do a quarterback sneak, a tush push just for 1 yard, and you almost wind up in the end zone on accident because your ass is just that big, and like they can't stop you. Yeah, just fun. And the Jaguars are fun. I'm excited for them. Shout out Liam Cohen and that really nice black lady who was trying to cheer him up before she got shit on by every sports media journalist around.
Duval.
Brian Thomas at DC.
49ers, Eagles. Eagles can fuck off. That's all I got on that. 49ers. I'm rooting for them, dude. Like I don't know if they're sustainable either with these injuries. George Kittle's out. I almost said George Clooney. He's out too. George Kittle is out for the season with the Achilles injury.
Probably play him at this point in a movie.
They brought him medicinal tequila to after the injury, which was a great thing to see a staff member running down to the locker room with a full bottle of tequila. Patriots, Chargers. Man, Chargers are frauds. So I don't know what I can take from that. I'm very excited about Patriots, Texans to see more of that. And Rams and Steelers, Texans. Texans are dogs on defense. They are dogs there. And CJ Stroud, if they can eliminate those turnovers, that's a dangerous team. That's a legitimate threat now in the AFC. So yeah, it's as
Black Matt Schaub, baby.
It is wide open as it can possibly be. And real quick, before we get into the preview for divisional, doing our picks for the divisional round, the losers from the weekend. Which team, Luis? Give me the team with the best hope, the losing team with the most hope for next year, and the losing team with the least hope to return next year.
The losing team with the least hope, I'm gonna go with the shit. You know what? Let's go with the Chargers. There's going to be a new head coach in their division. The Raiders got the number 1 pick. Mahomes will be back, and the Broncos are good. So as good a coach as they have, man, they got a lot of holes. Herbert could be the next Rivers, so I wouldn't necessarily count on them having an immediate bounce back playoff year when they have the Broncos the number 1 seed. Mahomes coming off an injury, but the Raiders right there, if they get a new coach, they can turn it around. So I would say the Chargers because they look like shit. Most hope, I'm going to go with the Panthers being a little frisky. Tat McMillan, they got a dual-headed running back. Bryce looking a little bit taller by the minute when he's getting there. Frisky defense, frisky manager. Frisky owner that does a lot of crazy shit. So I would say the biggest frisky contender might be the Panthers.
Zoo?
I think the one that doesn't make it back next year is going to be the Steelers. Because once Lamar and Burrow get back on track, I think they're the ones who are going to be the front runners of that AFC North race. For the Steelers, the defense was supposed to be what really helped them out. Like Aaron Rodgers in that offense just had to be mediocre, and the defense was supposed to carry them through. It's kind of like what's going on with the Texans right now, and they weren't able to hold their end of the bargain on that. So I think there's a lot more that needs to be recalibrated in Pittsburgh than is really being shown right now. And with the Bengals and Ravens hypothetically getting back on track, I don't see the Steelers keeping up in that race. For the upside, yes, they had a weak schedule, but I am very optimistic about these Patriots. I think they're just going to develop and grow from here and just have some more momentum going forward. And yeah, I think they're going to give that division a hard time next year. We'll see.
Yeah, for the least hope, of these losing teams, I gotta say this. I gotta agree that the Steelers give me the least hope here, just because with Tomlin leaving, Tomlin was the reason Aaron Rodgers came there. Obviously, he's not the Aaron Rodgers that we all remember, but he was competent enough, and he had it is your Aaron Rodgers. He had the mastery of the game enough to lead that offense competently and mediocrely, and that's what they needed. And they were able to sneak in there. I don't believe that he returns. I don't believe he's going to return to any team next season. I think he hangs it up after this, and at that point, you have to ask yourself with Pittsburgh, what do you do at quarterback? Like they're at their home draft pick. I like to call it their home pick because every year they pick around 20 or 21, somewhere between 19 and 21st. The Steelers will have that pick because they'll never advance past the wild card, but they're never going to be bad enough to get a top 15 pick. You're not going to get a quarterback there. Dante Moore, who was supposed to be the number 2 pick in the draft to the Jets, he was scared away by Luis. Luis was a little too aggressive, in trying to contact him. Dante Moore decided to go back to Oregon. So he's going to go back to school for one more year, and he'll go to the Jets next year because the Jets will have the number 1 pick then, and then they can
was the best.
Get him back.
That was the man Mo throwing out the fucking Jets and then creeping up behind them again. Hey, here we are.
The Jets have 3 first-round picks next year, so they will have ample opportunity to get your ass if they want you. The Steelers aren't going to have any hope there. They can maybe get somebody in the second round and hope that they can compete or develop. But otherwise, you're looking at a year of like Mason Rudolph or Will Howard or some reclamation guy in free agency like Malik Willis and taking a shot on him or I don't know. Like maybe
Malik and Metcalf would be an interesting pairing.
It would be. Yeah, it would be. Or like Will Levis. Maybe you trade for like a Will Levis or something, but like it's not going to be pretty. I don't see Cam Hayward staying. Maybe he retires after this.
Hey, listen, man. Justin Fields did pretty good for Pittsburgh at the beginning of last season.
Weirdly, which I still never understood why they flipped it over to Russell Wilson. They were winning with Justin Fields, and he was a little more dynamic. I think Arthur Smith's offense was just more limiting toward him, and he couldn't figure out what to do with that kind of.
Not according to ChatGPT, that ball expert.
Well, he'll work in Tennessee. It's what Tennessee needs. And I will say, like, it's not the least hope that I have, but Philly, I hope that they continue on the downward spiral, just as a, natural hater. But I saw this graphic for Jalen Hurts, and it makes me feel a little bit bad for him. These are the play callers that Jalen Hurts has had since 2016, not just his time in the NFL, but since Alabama. He had Lane Kiffin as his OC, Brian Daboll in 2017, Mike Loxley in 2018, Lincoln Riley in 2019. That's just college. 2020, Doug Peterson, 2021, Sirianni. The only time that he's had a little bit of consistency was 2021 to 2022 with Shane Steichen as the offensive coordinator. From there, it went to Brian Johnson in 23, Kellen Moore in 24, Kevin Patullo in 2025, and he was just fired this week. So the Eagles will have another offensive coordinator. This is where
Kingsbury.
It could be, honestly. I could see that. And it's where you kind of wonder with like the criticism Jalen Hurts gets as a quarterback, you can't have true greatness without any consistency. And like he can be a good quarterback, but how can you expect him to fully develop without any type of consistency on the offensive side? So I don't know about that. For the losing team that I have the most hope in, it's got to be their stock is down right now, but the Packers are still a strong team. I still do really believe in Matt LaFleur as a head coach. That was a bad outing for him in the second half of the game, but that's also kind of what the Cardiac Bears do. Next year, their hope that Micah Parsons will be back fully healthy by playoff time. I think that would have been a significant impact for them in this game. But I can't doubt the Packers. That's still a really good, loaded, talented team. So see what happens for them going into next season. Shout out the Panthers, though, too. I'm very happy for them. And they got Cam Newton and his crazy hats back for one game. Speaking of...
Game manager, game changer.
Let's get away from the losers of last weekend, and we're going to figure out who the winners of this weekend are going to be. It is time for the divisional round of Ricks versus Gricks.
Time, space, referee decision-making. These are all just some of the mysterious, uncontrollable strands of life that make up the massive universe that we call home, and the comfort food for the soul that we call sports. As most people journey through it with no idea where to go or what to do, a select few will help you navigate terror, frustration, and endless possibilities of making a 50-50 choice. This is Ricks versus Gricks.
These are Reid's picks versus Griffin's picks. The Grick, the new Grick, the regular season Grick, is not here. So the throne is empty. So we turn.
Is it though?
We did have somebody go 6-0 last week. Last year's Grick went 6-0. Just to remind everybody, what's going on. And we also have our second place guy from the regular season, Luis Martinez, here. And then there's me. Hi. I'm the host.
Hi.
I just get to be here.
Hi.
No matter what no matter what my record is. Last week, of course, Zoo went 6-0. Scott and I, we both went 4, and Zoo and Luis went 3-3 in the picks. This week, it's down to that time, man. We only have 4 games to pick anymore. It's only 4 games. Oh, what a sad time of year. But it's only Saturday and Sunday now. ESPN's still getting their game on Saturday, which the scheduling, and Tony Dungy was calling it out, and I kind of see where it is now. Bills Broncos at 3 o'clock on Saturday in the divisional round. Come on, man. That's like the Saturday afternoon. That's the Texans slot. That's where they're supposed to play. That's like, it was like built into the franchise when they originated. So like this whole scheduling shit because of Saturday and Monday games that we got to push teams to. I don't want Texans Patriots on Sunday night. I want that on Saturday. Give me Bills Broncos in the prime time, but whatever. All these games look like they'll be good. We'll have an opportunity here. First one that we have is going to be the Buffalo Bills at the Denver Broncos. Bills 13-5, coming off of a win against the Jaguars. Broncos 14-3, the number 1 seed in the AFC. They're coming off of a bye week. Broncos are a 1-point favorite at home here, Zoo. Who are you going to take?
As long as he can stay healthy and not get destroyed on unnecessary rushes, I think Josh Allen is going to work that quarterback magic and leave Denver with a win.
Luis?
So, if Allen is the best quarterback in the league that's left in the playoffs, and the Texans have the best defense that's left in the playoffs, Sean Payton might be the best coach left in the playoffs that, hasn't won a Super Bowl. And he's got the number 1 seed. So you can say what you want about them having extra time off versus Buffalo having to turn around on a short schedule. Can Buffalo turn it around and make it so that the rusty Broncos don't get a lead at home and they can steal one in Denver? My pick is Buffalo and San Francisco in the Super Bowl, so I gotta keep riding with the Bills. But I think it'll be closer than people think.
Maybe we'll test out the curse, but you'll have to wait till Sunday, fans, to really see that with Scott's pick if he'll actually thrust these things, because I'm going to go 3 for 3 here. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills.
Damn it, Scott.
It's gonna be a tough competitive game. It's gonna be really fun. Broncos, like you said, Sean Payton is the best coach left in these playoffs. He's also the biggest asshole. If you heard him completely just throttle a reporter for some reason, because the reporter had the audacity to ask, what type of defense he's gonna run, and he was like, "What do you know about these defenses?" So, Broncos are going to be tough, but I don't know if they're quite ready yet. But they will. They are going to have enough of an opportunity. They keep games really, really tight, though, and I think the Bills momentum is on their side. This is the year to do it. They know it. They're going to have to. So, yeah, give me Buffalo in this one. Also because, the scriptwriters, they need Josh Allen. They need Josh Allen to get a win here.
Also, how crazy was it watching Buffalo play football in January in like a beautiful sunshiny day?
Was odd. Yeah.
It was very disorienting when I turned the TV on last Sunday. I was like, this isn't right. This feels like September. I don't like it. This is weird.
Next game up, if I can find where they went. There they are. We have the San Francisco 49ers, who are 13-5, coming off their win against the Eagles, at the Seattle Seahawks, who are 14-3 and the number 1 seed in the NFC. Like Luis mentioned, though, Sam Darnold has a some type of oblique injury, I believe is what happened there. So that came out of nowhere. We'll see how that affects him overall. But Zoo, who are you going to take here? The Seahawks are a 7-point favorite, by the way.
Versus
going
alive.
Seahawks rest of the way.
He's going Seahawks rest of the way.
Sticking with the fandom at this point.
Luis?
I'm going to vote against Sam Darnold and the Niners to continue my Super Bowl pick.
There we go.
What did he do to you?
He used to be the Jets quarterback. That's
I
what
know.
he did to him. It's bias takes over. It works.
I know.
We got rid of him instead of keeping him and building around him like everybody said we should.
I almost just wrote down Jets as Luis's pick. Could still be. Never know. This one's really interesting to me, and the Sam Darnold injury actually kind of like makes it even harder on me. Like, it's ruining my mind here. I'm gonna continue to go with the 49ers here. And I'm gonna roll with Kyle Shanahan, who, we said that about Sean Payton. I believe Kyle Shanahan might be the best coach left in these playoffs. He is such
Definitely an NFC.
He's such an inventive mind, and that I kind of almost credit last week's win against Philly to Kyle Shanahan and just some of those wild play calls he was throwing out there. And he's got to do everything he can because they're so fucking injured. Plus, I want to see what
for sure.
I want to see what happens if they make the NFC Championship game, and that would kind of fall right in line with Fred Warner's availability to possibly return from his lower leg injury. So I want to see what impact that'll have going into the Super Bowl. But I also don't want a severely injured 49ers going back to the Super Bowl just to get their ass beat again. Like, what seems to happen in the Kyle Shanahan era. So I don't know. But I'm going with the Niners. I don't know if it's the Seahawks
still
are just
not
ready.
back.
I did. It's still. Next up, we have the Houston Texans, who are 13-5, coming off a win against the Steelers, at the New England Patriots, who are 15-3, coming off of a win against the Chargers. The Patriots are a 3-point favorite at home. Zoo, who are you going to take?
So as much as I've enjoyed this Patriots team, last week's game showed that it was a battle of the defenses, and those are average to above average defenses. Texans are way above that, so I think they're really going to give Drake May a hard time, and as long as CJ Stroud can be average, that's going to get them the win. So we're going to stick with the Houston Texans on this.
All right. Luis?
We are rolling with Black Matt Schaub and the number 1 defense in the league, the Houston Texans.
I'll never get over Black Matt
Blob.
Schaub. Blob.
Blob. Blatt.
Blatt and Blob. Oh my God. Blob is the best nickname ever for a quarterback now. That's Blob. Just because of the Blob capability, I think I'm gonna roll.
No Nico though, but I still think that the Patriots are pretenders. May might be the real thing, but until I see him play a full schedule, let's see what you do next year with a first place schedule before I start. Let's not start. Yanking each other's cranks right away with the Patriots. I mean, fuck the Patriots now and forever. Also goes into my pick, but
that is a huge part of this matchup because we have both Nico Collins, the Texans' number 1 receiver, and Christian Gonzalez, the Patriots' number 1 corner, both in concussion protocol. So don't know if either one of them is going to play. I think Gonzalez has a better chance to play than Nico does, which is going to really impact the Texans. I'm gonna roll with the Patriots for this week. I just trust it a little bit more. I trust that defensive Vrabel's got going on there, and Drake May to, maybe get his shit together and light it up. He got it going in the second half of that game against the Chargers. I'm going to take the Patriots for now, but the Texans are a dangerous, deceptive team. So another one that I think is going to be pretty close. Final game for the weekend should be one of the most fun. We have the Los Angeles Rams, who are 13-5, coming off a win against the Panthers, against the Chicago Bears, who are 12-6, coming off a win against the Packers. The Rams are a 3.5-point favorite on the road. Zoo, who are you going to take?
This is probably going to be the toughest pick because I think the Bears are in better place to win, but it's just really hard to root against Stafford and Puka being the absolute demon that he is. So as long as Stafford doesn't make too many mistakes and takes care of the ball, I think the Rams have a chance to win. So we're going to go with LA.
West Coast, Luis?
I don't know. Every single time that the Panthers threw a punch, the Rams countered pretty easily on the road. McVay, Stafford, and Puka and Devontae Adams at the goal line. Stafford threw more like 1-yard touchdowns than anybody else ever. The Bears are the nobody believes in us team, and they are a home underdog, which is always scary. But I still think I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna zag. I'm gonna take the Bears.
Just taking the cardiac Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears. The cheese graters. It's gonna be tough. But just like you were saying, the Rams could counter with every punch there. Their options in Devontae Adams, who I thought had been looking slow all year, but damn, he looked kind of like prime Devontae during stretches of that game against the Panthers there, still getting, way open over the middle and deep down. Puka, you can't stop. And I was talking about this with my Panthers friend, like at the start of that game, as soon as like Puka opened the game with a touchdown, I was like, yeah, like you have to account for Puka every game against any team about 100 yards and maybe at least one touchdown. And you just sacrifice that. You know that with you're going to get that with them. I think the Rams wind up taking this one and handling it by the end. I do think Caleb and the Bears will give them a scare towards the end, but I feel like that win against the Packers, that felt like a high, that felt like a peak there. And especially going against your longtime rival, like that's something that they can ride into next season and still feel good, even if they lose this round against the Rams, which probably should be the expectation. So yeah, give me the Rams to go to the NFC Championship game.
Would you like Scott's picks?
I would like Scott's picks. Let's get them.
All right. Kicking it off, Scott is going with the Bills, the Niners, the Texans.
Oh, my pizza rolls are done.
And the Rams.
Fuck Scott.
All right. Well, there we go. Now we have all four of the picks. So give them to me again real quick. What will we have here?
The Bills.
Curse.
Niners.
No curse.
Texans.
No curse.
Rams.
No curse. So you can take it to the bank now, folks.
Sorry, Josh.
The Denver Broncos are winning this game on a Saturday. If the curse proves anything. Except last week, we all went Rams. So maybe the curse is broken during the playoffs. We can never quite figure out what the curse wants to do. Who knows? I know what I want to do. I want to close out the show with a bold prediction from you guys. I want a bold prediction from everybody. Going into this time next week, a bold prediction of something that's happened by this time next week. It could be something to do with the playoffs on this weekend. It could do with the coaching hiring. It could do with a firing. Who knows? I will kick it off. I will give you a little bit of a chance. I am going to roll here I'm going to go with a coaching hire bold prediction. And I'm going to say, and maybe it's not too bold, but I'm going to say that Mike McDaniel is going to be
A Raven.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? Maybe I'm just stalling myself. No, Mike McDaniel is going to be Mike McDaniel will be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders by this time next week. I've got him as the head coach there and to run with perfect nerd mentality head coach to run with the nerd supermind rookie quarterback in Fernando Mendoza. I mean, Mike McDaniel to the Raiders by next week.
Do McDaniels and Brady get along?
I don't know. Brady might call him a nerd to his face. Who knows? Might throw a football at him. Who has their bold prediction ready or needs still time?
I mean, I'll go with the one that's just kind of been in the rumor pipeline for a little bit, sticking with the home team. Jonathan Gannon for defensive coordinator in Washington.
All right. A complete black hole of personality, but that's fine for a coordinator. Luis.
I predict that some retired, recycled coach like a Gruden or a McCarthy is going to get a big-time job before the end of next week.
Josh Gruden.
Or Josh Groban. Either one.
Oh, man, Josh Groban as head coach of the Raiders would be awesome. I changed my bold prediction. That's my bold prediction now.
Or Josh Brolin.
Full seniority.
Josh Groban is head coach of the Raiders. Josh Brolin.
Aaron Rodgers does not retire. Also, look, he just saw what Phillip Rivers did at 45. Aaron Rodgers has to think that he can keep doing it for a little while. He's going to sit his ass. He's going to go do his ayahuasca. He's going to go take his little vacation. Somebody will have a team, maybe the fucking Vikings, to complete that fucking Packers to Vikings quarterback fucking cycle. Aaron Rodgers is not retiring. He's coming back next year. He's like a fucking fungus.
But when Rivers got sacked, it was like, oh, shucks. But like when Rodgers gets touched, like when someone bumps into him, he's like super delicate. So it's like, I don't know if his body's actually holding up anymore.
I never understand that with Rodgers, where when Tom Brady used to get sacked, it was like a sack of potatoes, kind of like he would just go completely limp. And it didn't look like, anything. When Rodgers gets sacked, it's the most violent experience. And I feel like I've gotten hit when I watch him get sacked. I don't understand.
That's one way to put it.
I don't know. I don't understand what it is that he's not doing to help himself there. But yeah, I agree with that. I think Phillip Rivers, I think the dad bod, I think that little bit of gelatin.
He has a cushion to him.
Oh yeah.
Those Miller Lights protected him a little bit.
I mean, the fact they had to bring somebody else in just to make a Hail Mary attempt was wild.
You know what you're getting with them. You're getting an ugly throwing motion next to no arm. But
granted, Rodgers can sling it, but it's like he's too delicate right now.
Yeah, no, man. That's a car. He's a car crash dummy, a car test dummy on a Steelers uniform. Those two wonderful brown men, those kings right there, are Zuhair Ali and Luis Martinez. Thank you, boys, for being here. Is there anything you'd like to promote, such as an upright exposures or a SoCal tattoo, or these things I just pull out of my mind?
Yeah, check out Upright Exposures. Told you to do it all last year. This is the time to redeem yourself, help a small business. You're on Instagram anyways. Just scroll through and just hit the little pretty heart. That's all I'm asking.
If you're in the Southern California area and want some ink or a piercing, hit us up at socal-tattoo.com. You can follow me and our shop at SoCal Tattoo Main Street, all spelled out, or you can follow my tattoo journey at SoCal Tat Lou.
Do you have a cartridge for a zebra pen?
I don't, maybe.
I need ink.
Oh, there you go. Boom.
Hey.
Ouch.
Little LeBron.
We don't do hairline tattoos. Sorry, Zoo.
Oh, I need one. I need my eyebrows tatted. I hear weird things about my eyebrows. Hey, follow the show, the 323 Network, at 323 Reid, at 323 REID. course, the 323 Network on YouTube. Subscribe, rate, like, all those fun things. We will be talking to you guys very soon. Maybe some College Shame Day to preview the college football national championship. I'd actually like to go live. I might go live myself and just invite people on.
He might still be shitting by then.
He could still be on the toilet by the championship game.
It's like the 70s again. We got point shaving scandals in college too, man. Where's Scott in the emergency pod on that? Come on.
We got a quarterback who doesn't know what to do in the NIL, so he left the team, transfer portal, went back to the team because he had signed a contract. He doesn't know how contracts work. What a time. We'll cover it all at some point.
What a time to be alive.
But in the meantime, folks, we'll talk to you later. Stay safe. Enjoy the weekend.
Imika Egbegbo.